morning, good morning, good morning. My name is George Randall, and welcome to You, Math, and Me. Today, we're going to be talking about negative, and you see that symbol there, and positive, and that's a positive symbol, numbers. But before I get started, I'd like to take a moment to apologize to a friend of mine, and her initials begin with E, and her last name B. Now, let's talk about these numbers. In the middle here, we have what's called the number line. And this number line goes into infinity. And it equally goes from 0 to positive numbers on the right and 0 negative numbers on the left. And all of those numbers are an equidistance from 0. Okay. Now some rules that go with the number line. And on multiplication side, we have rules pertaining to what a negative number multiplied by a negative number equals a positive number. A negative number multiplied by a positive number equals a negative number. And we use the commutative property here and say a positive number multiplied by a negative number equals a negative number. Again, positive times a positive number equals a positive number. Let's look at some rules for division. And with the division, it says a negative number divided by a negative number equals a positive. Why? Because we look back over here at our cousin, multiplication, it says a negative times a negative is a positive. So, in this case, if we take and say a negative divided by a negative is a positive, we have to have, and when we check, a negative times a negative to get what was in the house, a negative number. And again, I'll be going through that as we go along. Next rule, a negative divided by a positive is a negative. A positive divided by a positive is a positive number. And last but not least, a positive number divided by a negative number is a negative for your answer or quotient. Okay, so we've talked about these rules, and what we're going to do now is look at first we're going to start with division of decimals. And then we're going to add our negative numbers. Okay? So I'm going to erase some things here. The rules. And then we're going to look at this particular problem without any negative or positive numbers, because we have to make sure we're familiar with our ability to divide. And we're going to use in here decimal 1200ths. And this 1200ths is called the divisor. And 24 and 3600ths is called the dividend. And the answer that you'll get is called the quotient. Okay. Now, when we're working with decimals, we can't just say 1200ths into 24 and 3600ths. There are rules. We have to change this 1200ths by moving the decimal place 2 places to the right. And when we move the decimal 2 places to the right, we also have to do the same thing in the dividend. And then we put our decimal right there. Now, we express this now as a whole number. It says 12 into 2,436. And again, that answer we call the quotient. So, we look at the 12. Can 12 go into 2? No. Can 12 go into 24? Yes. How many times? 2. Now, we made this problem very simple. And then the next step is to multiply 2 times 12 to get 24. And the next step is to subtract the 24 from the 24 in the dividend, and we get 0. Next step is to bring down 3. Can 12 go into 3? No. So we go 0 times. And 0 times 12 is 0. Now I'm going to have to bring this up here so you can see. And now we have 3. And we have 3 here. And we'd bring down the 6. And 12 can go into 36 3 times. And we put that right over the 3. Now our answer, and of course 3 times 12 would be 36. And again, that 6 would be up here, and we bring it down 36. Okay? And subtract, and we're left with nothing. Now I made this very simple so that we can see. Now we have to check our answer. And that's why we talk about multiplication. I talked about division first, and we multiply our answer 203 by the original divisor, 1200s. Two times 3 is 6. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 2 is 4. Put a 0 here so we can get in the next column. And 1 times anything, which is 203, is 302. And watch this. We add 6, 3, 4, 2. Not done, because in the rules for multiplication are, you look at the number of decimals, 1 place, 2 places, and you come here and go 1 place, 2 places. And doesn't that look like what's in the house? And that's how you check your first problem, okay? If you have any questions about that, you can reach me at gerandall22@gmail.com. Okay. So what I did real quick, we talked about division first, and then we did a multiplication problem as a way to check our answer of 203, multiplying by decimals. So I've talked about decimals first, no positive or negative numbers, because in the next part, I'm going to set up some issues with, or problems with, negative and positive numbers. So when I come back, we'll be talking about some negative and positive numbers. I thank you at this time.
Drive, your chance to give back to the community by helping a child have a happy holiday. Stop by VoxWave Studios, 4711 Auth Place, Suitland, Maryland, and donate all your unwrapped toys no later than December 20th. It's our second annual toy drive, sponsored by Urban Style Media, VoxWave.com, and Star Imports, the home of the boutique car buying experience. So enjoy your holidays and give back to the kids of the DMV.
Business owners looking for a place to advertise your business and promote your products and services? VoxWave is the right place. We have over 10,000 views a day and 70,000 listeners a month. For more information, contact Reg Gaskins at 240-832-4455.
VoxWave now features a streaming radio media player on our website's front page, where local artists can get their music played 24/7. For more information on getting your music in rotation or to perform live at our studio, contact Reg Gaskins at 240-832-4455.
Android users, the VoxWave app is now available in the Google Play Store. Download the app today on your Android device to listen in and view programs.
DJ Rick Entertainment.
DJ Rick Entertainment, hottest DJ in the DMV area, CEO of Step Your Game Up and the Youth Project Show, the DJ on the Heartbeat Conga Hour, and sound engineer for a variety of bands. DJ Rick Entertainment is your #1 company for all your stage and sound event needs. Call 202-390-1151. That's 202-390-1151.
DJ Rick Entertainment.
And welcome back. Again, to You, Math, and Me. We're going to look at a couple multiplication problems and a division problem, which will lead to a multiplication problem with positive and negative numbers. Okay. And again, I took that same problem that we started with, and I added a positive sign and a negative sign. So as you can already see, the multiplication portion of this will be the same. But again, we have to remember those rules. In this case, we're multiplying a negative by a positive. Again, 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 0 is 0. And 2 times 2 is 4. You want to get in the right decimal place, that's why we put this 0. And again, 1 times 3, 1 times 0, 1 times 2. Now, our estimate, if we had just looked at this without going any further, is 1.2 closer to 1 or 2? 1. So 1 times anything is that thing. So our estimate would have been 203. And in this case, a negative times a positive, it would have been a negative 203. That would have been our estimate. But because we have 0.2, we're now going to add, and it says 6, 3, 4, 2. Now that's not 2,420 or 36. We have one decimal place up here. And because we have a negative times a negative, okay. So again, our estimate was 203. However, our actual answer is 243 and 6/10. And I say and because this decimal place, when we read it out, and refers to the decimal. Okay. And again, that's a negative, because a negative times a positive is a negative. That's a rule. Now let's look at two negatives. And we can do a quick estimate. 3.6, close to 4, right? And 4.8 is close to 5. And we have two negatives. So 5 times 4 is 20. And in this case, a negative times a negative is a positive 20. That's our estimate. Okay? And we'll talk more about rounding and what have you as we go along. But here's the multiplication. 8 times 6, 48. 8 times 3, 24, and 4 is 28. Okay. Then we'll erase that. Put our 0 so that we can get in the next place value. 4 times 6 24. Carry 2. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14. And we add 8, 12, and carry the 1, and that's 3 and 4 is 7. And we look at our decimal places. There's 1 and 2. Start here, 1 and 2. And because a negative times a negative is a positive, and our estimate was 20, and our actual answer is 17. Pretty good estimate. And again, we express this as a positive 17 because the rule states that a negative times a negative is a positive number. And last but not least is a division problem where we have in the house a positive 43 and 6/500, and that's divided by 15. But I'm going to put it over here because so you can really see it. Okay. First rule, we cannot divide by decimals. Okay? So we have to move it 1, 2. And again, whatever we do to the divisor, which in this case is a negative 15, we must do to the dividend. 1, 2. And then we put that decimal there. Okay? Now here we go. 15 in the 43. 2. 2 times 15 is 30. Subtract. 3 minus 0 is 3. 4 minus 3 is 1. Next step, bring down 6. How many 15s can we get out of 6? I say 9. 9 times 5, 45. 9 times 1, 9 plus 4, 3. Subtract, bring down our 5. And 15 into 15. Now again, I made all of these easy so that it come out even, and it comes out to be 291. And in this case, a negative 291, because we have to find out by checking a negative times a negative will be a positive that's in the dividend. So here we go, we're going to check it. And what are we doing? Doing the cousins work. Multiplication and division are related. So we have a negative 291 times the original divisor of a negative 1500s. Okay? I need to put this over here. Okay. Multiplication. 5 times 1, 5. 5 times 9, 45. Put that up there. 5 times 10 plus 4 is 14. And again, 1 times anything is that thing. So in this case, 1 times 291. Okay? 5, 6, 13, carry the 1, 4. Now the final check is not that, because we have to go back up here and go 1 decimal place, 2 decimal place, 1 decimal place, 2 decimal place. And then we also have to follow the rule, a negative times a negative is a positive. And look at that. It's what's in the house. Okay. So again, what we did today is we looked at, real quickly, negative and positive numbers, They are equal distance from 0. This is the positive side. And on this side, to the left of the 0, is the negative side, to infinity. They are an equal distance away from 0. You'll get 1.5 in there, 1.5 on this side, 4.6, and so forth. But again, they are an equidistance from 0, from the right positive, from the left negative. We take all those rules that we wrote down, and we use them to determine whether or not our answers to our problems are either negative or positive. So, the information that we talked about, again, negative, positive numbers, multiplication and division. When we come back next time, I'm going to be talking about addition and subtraction. Okay? So, for this evening, if you need to reach me, you can reach me again at gerandall22@gmail.com. I thank you, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.